Welcome everyone. I'm excited to be back here, and what I want to do in this video is show you some quick and easy ways that you can trap data that is not right. For instance, if you're trying to get an integer and the user types in a letter or something else, we want to be able to make sure that we get the proper input in here. So let's go and do something very simple, and let's test to make sure that our input is actually working. So I'm going to create an integer number. Remember, I always like to initialize everything. So I'm going to type in cout. Please enter a number. No end line, and then I'm going to do cin number. And then I'll give the user a message to see if the number was correct. You input number, and we'll put in an end out. All right, so we're going to test this to see if everything works. So let's go and run it. And I'll type in lucky number 10, and that looks good. However, what happens if the user types in ABC? Well, that's obviously not an integer. So let's go and run this here again. And we'll move this over here. Let's type in ABC. And it says you input 0. Well, that's not good, because obviously we did not input 0. We input something that got converted to 0. That could be a disaster for a program that's using the number in a calculation. So it's really very easy to fix. So let's go and just do a little trick. This is not the end of everything, but it's a way to start. So we're going to type in if cin.fail. And let's just tell the user cout, you must type in an integer. And let's see what happens when we run this. So we're building this step by step. So I'm going to type in ABC, and it says you must type in an integer, but we still have you input 0. So we can fix that very easy. But another thing that didn't happen was the user is never given an option to physically retype the integer. So let's go and put this inside a while loop. And then I'm going to make a mistake and show you something that's very easy to do. And if you get this message, you go look to see if you put the while in the right spot. So let's just do a do. And we need to put our while here. So a very common thing to do is put the while here. And let's just say we're looking for a positive number. So we're going to do while number is less than or equal to 0. So everything looks good. Let's go and compile and see what happens. And we get errors. Well, that's very simple. Look at this. Well, I don't understand. Why is return in here? And it does give us expected while. So the answer is we have put this in the wrong spot. So we need one more piece of the puzzle. So what we need to do here is, if we do this, what's going to wind up happening is this is going to put in a number. It's going to give it 0 if we type in ABC. It's going to say your input is 0, and then it's going to go back. But there's really no reason to do this. So what we're going to put in here is a statement called continue. And then what we do, you can put in please re-enter, whatever you want to put in as the message. So this is going to go here, and it's going to go back to the beginning of the do in here. So let's go and try that and see exactly what happens. So we'll type in ABC, and it says, oh, wow, what are we going to do here? This is not good. And the answer is, when you do a cin fail, it has a flag that gets set. So we need to clear the flag. So let's clear the flag, and we're still going to have a problem. So let me show you what we need to do. So let's put in cin.clear. So this clears the error flag. So let's try it again. And we'll put this here. And we want to put in ABC. And we still have the same thing. That doesn't make sense. And the answer is because we still have stuff in this keyboard buffer. What's happening is we're hitting this. You must type in an integer. It's going back in here. And we're not ever going to do anything because we have something in that's looking for an integer. We're not giving it an integer. So what we need to do here is we need to clear the keyboard buffer. So we're going to do a C and ignore. And I use 100. Some people use more, some people use less, but that's just my rule of doing things. Doesn't make any difference if you choose a higher number or a lower number, but this seems to be the magic. I don't think anybody's going to put in a number that's more than 100 characters. So let's try this again and see if this works. So let's type in ABC. And it says, oh, you must type in a number. Now let's type in -50. And you input 50. Well, that doesn't really help us. So we need to just make sure that it works, so we're good. All right. So what we want to do now is we can check to see if they put something in numbered less than 0. So let's try this out here. And we could actually put in an else if we want. Or you can put a separate if in here. So let's just do this, else. And we'll do else if. And we can do it, different ways. So let's just do it this way here. Let's just do else if number is less than or equal to 0. And like I said, you could have done this with an else if. Then we'll put C out. Number must be greater than 0. And if you want, you can put in, you typed in whatever you want to do, put in whatever message you want in here, and then we can do continue again. Now, remember, there is more than one way to do this. This is just showing you one way. Most of the time, I choose a Boolean in there. So let's go and try this again. And this time, we'll trap the ABC. And that works. Now, let's put in -50. It says number must be greater than 0. And now we'll put in, say, 10. So that is it. So right now, this is working pretty good. So what you want to do is use this function as a function so that you don't have to put in the same code over and over and over again if you're getting 4 or 5 different integers. So let's create a function right here. And we'll call it getPositiveInteger. And let's go and see what it's not like in here. Oh, I have a space. So I'm not a big fan of doing it in here. So, and I always comment the closing bracket. So what we need here is pretty much the same code here. So I'm going to copy this here. And then I'll delete it in a minute. So we need an integer to get. Please enter number. If number is in here, they have to return number. And that looks good here. I'll put a little space to make it a little bit easier to read. Now we don't need any of this stuff in here. So let's get rid of this. And then we'll just do number equals get positive integer. And let's go see out. You entered number. Let's give this a try, see how this works. So again, we're in enter positive. We'll do ABC. Does not work. Minus 50. Does not work. And then we'll do 50. And that works. So that is a simple way to do it. Now, the advantage of this is if you're getting, say, 5 different integers, you can do number equals get positive integer, length equals get positive integer, width equals get positive integer. So you know that none of these things are going to be. Then there's many things that you can do to enhance it. For instance, we could overload this function in here. And let's just go and create the same function here. But this time, we're going to include a prompt. So we need a string. And we'll create the same code, pretty much. We're just going to add one little enhancement. We'll call this prompt. And let's copy all this code here. So this is basically the exact same thing with just one small thing. Instead of please enter a number, we're going to type cout prompt. And we're returning the number. Everything looks good here. So now let's go and do the same thing. And we'll do number equals get pos integer. Please enter a positive number. I believe I spelled positive wrong. So let me do that. And then we'll do our cout. And let's run it again. First time will be just please enter a number. The second time is a customized prompt. Please enter a number. We'll just do 50. Now you please enter a positive number, and let's do ABC just to check it. Let's do minus 50 to check it, and then 17 in here. So we have a little cosmetic issue. So what I want to do here now is just add a space here to make it look nice. So that is this video here. Hopefully this will help. In my next video, I'm going to show you how to trap other ones by using a try any catch. But for now, this one's going to work. And then finally, I'm going to show you how to use some utilities that I wrote that'll use a string to get things, and you don't have to worry about anything. You can get an integer or you can get a float, and you can use all of these things, and they're really very simple. So that is it. Hopefully it helps. Please comment on it. Let me know what you think. If you like it, please like it, and let me know that these things are there for you to use, and hopefully they are helping. So that's it. Have a good day.